Hey everyone, welcome back to World of Warcraft Classic Hardcore and our Human Paladin. I appreciate you joining me today, and I hope you are all doing well. Today we are returning to Elwyn Forest, but first, we did miss a quest in our log because it was located under the cooking section, as opposed to Dunmoreau. And that is for the beer-basted boar ribs. We had collected all of the crag boar ribs, but we forgot to buy the Rhapsody malt from the innkeeper. So definitely want to turn this one in. We can definitely pick up a decent amount of silver for all this stuff. And once we do so, then we can simply hearth back to Goldshire and be on our merry way. So let's get started. Back in Karanos already. Still got a couple of things that we can vendor too from the previous episode. And I think we'll create some more bandages as well. We'll get closer to a stack. Used up quite a few between Frostmane Hold and Shimmer Ridge and whatnot. Definitely knocked us down a peg.
My attention. Very good. Well met.
Alright, Innkeeper Belm, let's see your wares real quick. Pick up that Rhapsody malt. And we'll go ahead and turn in that quest. Let's make those bandages now while we're at it. I don't believe we need to speak with a first aid trainer until 35 or 40 first aid, I think. Then we can start making the heavy variety. It's nice to see some progress on our one and only profession. Alright, Ragnar Thunderbrew, I apologize, I did forget about you.
Be good.
The malt is brewed, the boars are dead, and before all is done and anything said, we will have to fight for first dibs on these savory beer-basted boar ribs.
See you soon.
How poetic, Ragnar. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to vendor your recipe immediately. 60 copper is 60 copper. I'll take it.
Off with you.
And with that, let's use our Hearthstone and let's get back to the homeland. Hello there, Innkeeper Farley. Nice to see you. Alright, so I know we've got the kelp fronds for a fact over at Crystal Lake. We've got Goldtooth, Princess, and we'll speak with Guard Thomas and take care of the Jasper Lode mine. So we got a lot of stuff for sure.
Well met. For the Alliance.
This is our breadcrumb for Westfall. We can pick it up now. I don't think it holds, it's going to force us to hold any quest items in our inventory, so looks to me you've seen quite a bit of combat in your time, Paladin. If you haven't already, you should report to Grind Stoutmantle. He heads up the People's Militia, aimed at protecting the farmlands of Westfall. I bet he could use your help. You can usually find him in the stone tower on Sentinel Hill, just off the road in the middle of Westfall.
Go with honor, friend.
Very well. And Smith Argus has something for us as well.
Be careful.
There's a dwarven weaponsmith in Stormwind, Grimmand Elmore, who sent word that he needs help with a delivery. I believe he wants a package sent to his homeland in the north. You have a sturdy pair on you, so if you're interested in some legwork, then speak with Grimmand. We could use you down here, but we must also keep our ties strong with the dwarves. You can find Grimmand. I always want to say Grimrand for some reason. It's just how I'm reading it. You can find Elmore at the weapon shop in the Dwarven District in Stormwind, in the northeast section of town. I think we'll leave this alone for now. I think.
Have a good one.
Okay, no, we can pick it up. It's not. For some reason, I thought it would stick something into our inventory, but it does not. Since we have 7 silver, let's go ahead and find the general goods vendor. I think he might be inside. And let's pick up another bag. It's going to be a little while before we hit level 12 and pick up our new abilities, which I believe is just going to be a new rank of Blessing of
What can I help
Light,
you with?
which is good to know ahead of time, but it is going to cost us about 10 silver, I think it was, to upgrade. Getting another bag in here is going to feel nice. Alright, and we now have a ton of stuff that we can do. So why don't we go ahead and deal with Goldtooth first? I think I feel comfortable enough entering the cave. It should be okay. We'll take care of that first because that's kind of like a standalone thing, I think, compared to the rest of these quests we just picked up. And then we can deal with Crystal Lake and Jasper Lode Mine before speaking with Guard Thomas. Yeah, I'm thinking we're going to make pretty quick work of these kobolds now. You know, I suppose it is surprising too that I just realized this as well. We have not picked up any bags from random enemies ourselves, which is definitely a shame. I feel like our luck on the past couple of characters we've run so far has been pretty bad as far as random bags are concerned. But I've been expecting to see a lot more. Picked up a cracked sledge again. It's gonna be nice vendor gold. Goldtooth shouldn't be too far from this particular entrance. If you are planning on traveling into the Fargo Deep Mine, I always recommend the bottom entrance here. I feel like it's just like a little bit safer, a little bit more space between the enemies, and you don't have to go as far into the mine to get through where you need to. Looks like we picked up an upgrade in the glove slot as well for loose chain gloves. Better than our flimsy ones, at least. It's not too bad, they look exactly the same. Definitely a decent upgrade though. I don't think there are any other paths besides this one. Could be wrong. Pretty far in already, and it looks like we're already starting to get some respawns. Let's try to be careful as we proceed. Yeah, there's Goldtooth there. Maybe it's the other entrance. It's probably maybe a little bit better for Goldtooth specifically. Loose chain belt. We're already wearing one, so we don't need that. And let's take on Goldtooth. Oh, it looks like we're going to pull 3 here. In Frostbane Hold, this would have been a huge issue. But since 2 of these guys are level like 6 and 7, I am not as concerned. We do have Lay on Hands. As well as a plethora of other cooldowns. Yeah, so I lied. I think the lower entrance is probably the best to fully explore the Fargo Deep Mine for that first initial quest, but you're probably going to want to go to the top entrance if you want Goldtooth specifically, without having to navigate through the whole cave, as I basically just did there for the most part. You know, I think part of the reason why Fargo Deep Mine is such a hotspot for deaths in hardcore is, I mean, obviously it's a very busy, you know, zone, a very busy cave. No, yeah, you know what? I feel like I was right. I feel like, you know, maybe Goldtooth is just kind of in the back, regardless of what direction you take, because this is pretty rough. The path we decide to go with here. I feel like we should head back. Yeah, let's head back the other way. We actually have a chest here that looks like we missed. Kill Goldtooth again real quick. Hopefully his hopefully it doesn't respond too quickly along with his little buddy. But yeah, one of the reasons why I think Fargo Deep Mine is like so rough is honestly because none of these kobolds run away when you get them to low health, except for, I guess, Goldtooth. But most of them don't run, which I feel like is not the case in caves later on in the game. Like Boulder Slide Ravine, for example, like they all just run. So it gives you, I guess, a chance to kill them. I suppose running is also bad in some cases where, yeah, maybe you don't want them to run. But I feel like at a lower level, you would prefer that to take less damage, rather than have them stick to you. There's some fighting just above us, I think. But we are finally out of the cave. Looks like we got another chest to investigate here. We got some cool stuff here. Some mine carts and whatnot. Wonder what these caves are and these mines are like, or what they would have been like with regular humans and dwarves and whatnot manning them. I can't really think of a cave off the top of my head that's like friendly with either faction, where you can just kind of go in and you know, investigate freely without having to worry about anything. So we do have to turn in this quest. I always forget if we're turning this in with the McClures or the Stonefields. Bernice's necklace to Auntie Bernice Stonefield. Okay. So we're going to head to the west. Lovely seeing you guys here again.
You need something?
Hello, Bernice.
See you later.
Oh, you found it. Thank you, dear. Here, take this. It was my husband's, and he always said it was lucky. If only he didn't forget it on his last campaign.
Safe travels.
Oh boy. Well, I don't think this would have saved him, if I'm being honest. These lion stamped gloves. Probably wouldn't have done the trick.
I supply only the finest
Hello
goods.
there, Homer. Let's vendor our stuff.
See you around.
And with that, we can actually buy our last bag if we wanted to. We actually have to head up through Goldshire anyway, I believe. Yeah, there's nothing else here that we need to concern ourselves with at this very moment. Alright, we're back in Goldshire once again. Let's head inside the Lion's Pride Inn. Let's get that last bag. Let's just fill it up. I'm not going to wait for that last one. I am too impatient. I like my expanded inventory. That should serve us nicely. Alright, let's head over to Crystal Lake. And we've got some murlocs to deal with. And I think that's all we're going to need until we can head over to the Jasper Lode mine. It's so tough not opening the map and looking for the quest markers. We have to actually navigate through our quest log quite often just to ensure that we're all up to date and we know exactly what remains. We're going to do our best not to head over to these little islands and instead just kind of work on the outskirts. We do have another player here. I haven't seen a lot of enemies, so I'm going to go ahead and swim across to the other side. The less traveled side, I feel like. Maybe we can find more stuff to kill over here. Be careful of these patrols. Stream runners are probably going to run away as soon as they get to low health, and they're going to run pretty quickly. If any of them do start running away, let's keep our Hammer of Justice handy, just in case. Looks like we've got a wolf that's running around as well. Some of these patrols have quite the path to them. It's very lengthy. Battered chest in the distance. I think we've seen these cut purses before. Not interested in gathering this up. It's going to be far too dangerous. And the chests at this point are just not really worth it. For the most part. Picked up the first 3 kelp fronds fairly easily. This last one is being quite stubborn. Luckily, we're taking out these murlocs very quickly. Most of them are level 6. It has definitely sped things up for us. Alright, looks like the only murlocs that remain at the moment are unfortunately on this central island. Have to go around a little bit, see if we can engage one of them that might be a little bit further away from the others. Yeah, I don't see any others along the shoreline, unfortunately. But we've proven that we can take on at least 2 of them very easily. So maybe it's okay that we pull a couple. Looks like we've only pulled 1 so far. I think our level advantage has definitely allowed us to keep our distance a little bit. The aggro radius isn't going to be as large. It looks like we pulled 4 technically, but one of them's kind of stuck in the little hut over there. That is the last frond that we needed too. Oh, it looks like the enemies have reset. Let's let them leave them about their business and move on. I'm always wary when enemies kind of bug out like that. Or, you know, it's weird because that murloc is kind of hanging around inside that little hut, and I wonder if that was intentional. Can't really leave it, but he's not a ranged attacker either, so he kind of just gets bugged out. And sometimes the aggro for certain enemies can be a little messy when that happens. Already starting to run into some kobold miners, and I'm assuming geomancers as well. As we must be getting very close to the entrance of the Jasper Lode mine. I'm glad that we have all of our big cooldowns for the mine. Didn't want to have to waste them on the that murloc pack. So yeah, let's be really wary. The miners themselves aren't too bad, but they do apply a debuff, reducing or cutting our armor in half, which is not great. That's really where the real danger is going to come in with the cave, I believe. Yeah, because you pull more than one miner, you're going to start getting stacks of this effect. Or at least a refresh. And definitely don't want to have to deal with that in a cave setting. Feels like these enemies are a lot more condensed than they were in the Fargo Deep Mine too, so at least two of them are kind of next to each other at all times, it seems. Which is, again, not super ideal. We're going to have to be wary of hyper-spawning. And getting out is going to be kind of rough. I feel like with a cave system like this, we're probably just going to have to stand and fight if things start to get hairy. Let's make sure we position ourselves well. We'll try to kind of remember where these things do spawn in and see if we can avoid kind of sitting around those areas. Looks like we're going to have to upgrade our water as well, noticing that this refreshing spring water is just not going to cut it anymore. For the little time that we are in here, I'm going to try to take a look around, notice some of the smaller details of some of these cave systems. I suppose they're pretty boring overall. There's nothing too interesting that pops out until you find like a chest or whatnot. We'll pull to 2 more again. Luckily the Geomancer missed. I do remember this being the cave though where, you know, the first half is kobolds, the next half is like spiders, which is kind of cool. I always thought there was a quest back here, but maybe I'm thinking of like the Cataclysm version of the zone, where if you kill like the big spider in the back, which I think might be a rare spawn as well, you get like an additional quest of some kind that you can turn in just kind of for some free experience. But I think we're all good here. I think we've explored the mine, and so I think we're just going to leave. The longer we stay in here, as much as I would like to explore it, we do have another player here at least. You know, the higher risk we have of having to fight our way back out, and I just don't think it's going to be necessary. Let's save some of our deeper exploration for more safer areas. I'm interested in the lumber mill, which we should get to pretty shortly. Yeah, and I can see the Tower of Azora as well in the distance. I believe this is the landmark that we were given in the quest text. Look out for the tower and head directly north, which definitely makes sense. I would like to explore the tower a little bit, see if there's anything in there that's interesting. Never had to go there for any reason. I've heard that I think mages go there at some point, possibly for like a class quest. But there's really no other reason, and I have not leveled a human mage in quite a long time. Yep, and by discovering the Tower of Azora, we've actually been pushed into level 11 now, which is great. Our talent window is blinking. Let's go ahead and resolve that by just opening it and closing it again. Well, the extra hit points and mana are much appreciated. So we've got a Servant of Azora outside.
Hey,
Greetings, adventurer.
You have a great day now.
Nothing to say. Looks like we've got quite a few of these little guys.
My, you're a tall one.
Looks like it's all gnomes, though. Yep, and we get the gnome music as soon as we enter as well. Not sure any of these servants are going to have anything to say, but let's kind of check the books and whatnot. See if there's anything else that's like interactable other than the basic chairs. Or if there are any named NPCs in particular. So far, still nothing too special or interesting. I feel like we've got too many pictures of 1,000 Needles in many of these unexpected places. Some of these are different, though. I'm assuming this is Ungoro, actually. I don't think I've ever seen this one before. Ah, human. Oh, look at that, a clothier. Morley Eberline.
How are you?
Eberline. Basic cloth pieces, knitted tunic, knitted pants. I wonder if these are different than the normal cloth vendors that you find within Goldshire and like places like Karanos and Stormwind and whatnot.
See you later.
That would be kind of cool.
What can I do for you?
If this was like a different
Safe
outfit, if you're doing this challenge with a mage or a warlock. Let's head up to the top real quick. Yeah, I had no idea there was a vendor in here, which is pretty cool. Kitta Firewind, Artisan Enchanter. Okay. So that does make plenty of sense.
King's honor, friend. Go with honor.
So,
friend.
artisan trainers in general, there's very few of them. There's probably like maybe 2 for every profession. And the artisan trainer for certain professions can sometimes be found in very strange places. In some cases, there are major cities, like I think the tailoring one for Horde side, if I remember correctly, is in Undercity. The artisan leatherworkers in Thunderbluff. I'm not as familiar with the Alliance side, but I guess this is where you would go if you wanted to get trained up in enchanting. So I guess this place is used for that specifically. Theocritus, interesting. Not interactable. And we have an Arcane's Good vendor. This is probably just reagents. Yeah, but honestly, this might be a very... I mean, I highly doubt people know about this person, Dawn Brightstar. You can get some really cheap potions and scrolls from this. Because I highly doubt people are coming up here. Or even know that this place exists without being an enchanter. Oh, hello. Whoa. The Eye of Azora we just clicked on. I believe this is in Redridge. In one of the towers in Redridge. Very interesting. Huh. I wonder if the tower in Redridge has a similar name. Oh, look at this. We've got a book too. Rise of the Blood Elves. Very interesting. This is only 4 pages long. Let's read this. At this time, the undead scourge had essentially transformed Lordaeron and Kel'Thalas into the toxic Plague Lands. There were only a few pockets of Alliance resistance forces left. One such group consisted primarily of High Elves, was led by the last of the Sunstrider dynasty, Prince Kael'thas. Kael, an accomplished wizard himself, grew wary of the failing Alliance. The High Elves grieved for the loss of their homeland and decided to call themselves Blood Elves in honor of their fallen people. Yet, as they worked to keep the scourge at bay, they suffered greatly at being cut off from the Sunwell that had empowered them. Desperate to find a cure for his people's racial addiction to magic, Kale did the unthinkable. He embraced his people's highborn ancestry and joined with Illidan and his Naga in hopes of finding a new magical power source upon which to feed. The remaining Alliance commanders condemned the Blood Elves as traitors and cast them out for good. With no place left to go, Kale and his Blood Elves followed Lady Vash to Outland to help contest the Warden Maev, who had recaptured Illidan. With the combined Naga and Blood Elf forces, they managed to defeat Maev and free Illidan from her grasp. Based in Outland, Illidan gathered his forces for a second strike against the Lich King and his Fortress of Icecrown. Interesting. So this is lore that you could obviously find, I feel like, in the Warcraft series, but interesting to see a book here in vanilla, kind of the hints at where we would be going next. Or it's possible that the book here could have, or stuff like this in general could have just been in the book the whole time, because Blizzard had plans to initially put much of the Burning Crusade, if not all of it, into vanilla at some point. I'm really glad that we decided to stop by and check this place out. That's really what I want to continue to do with this character. I want to explore these different places that I've just been passing by this whole time. I've never done enchanting throughout my entire history with WoW, in fact. I don't think at any point have I ever had an enchanter. So to see this kind of stuff here in vanilla is really cool. Alright, I think all we need to do now is to speak with Guard Thomas regarding further concerns. We can also deal with Princess if we choose, but I think we're going to end up picking some quests from the lumber mill. That'll send us over by where Princess is anyway. Taking on some more Defias, collecting some of their bandanas, I think is what we're going to be looking at. So for now, we're off the beaten path. We're back on the main road. Let's speak with Guard Thomas.
Need help?
Hello there.
Light bless you.
Yes, Murlocs have settled in and around the streams of Eastern Elwyn. We don't know why they are here, but they are aggressive and at least semi-intelligent.
For the Alliance.
Find the lost guards. A few days ago, we sent 2 guards, Rolf and Malachi, Malachi? Yeah, Rolf and Malachi, to investigate along the river, and they have not yet returned. To complete my report, I must know what happened to those men. Travel north along the river and find the guards, or their remains.
Be careful.
Protect the frontier. Hail, Sedelian. Wild animals are growing more and more aggressive the farther we get from Goldshire, and the Eastvale logging camp suffers nearly constant attacks from the wolves and bears. We could use your help out there.
Go with honor, friend.
Very well. So we're going to travel north along the river. We'll look for some remains first, and then we'll enter the lumber mill. Speak with everybody over there. There's a decent amount of NPCs there, probably some vendors and stuff. I'm definitely interested in doing a little bit of exploration. Good that we get some of these forest bears out of the way now. They're a little bit more difficult to find, and I would imagine, even though it's been quite a while since these new anniversary servers have released, I would expect to see a lot of people in this area dealing with the Murlocs, dealing with the Prowlers and the bears and whatnot. See another bear over there in the distance. Let's make sure we tag him. We've got another player here, and it looks like we've found one of the remains. Flies are a nice touch. Although much has been stripped from the corpse, strewn nearby is a medallion with the words Footman Malachi Stone etched upon it. Upon further searching the area, you find webbed footprints leading east along the shore of Stone Cairn Lake. In the distance to the east, you can just barely see a Murloc village. Perhaps Rolf's fate ended there. Okay, we've got some good direction from that quest. And these remains can be definitely a little bit trickier to pick up. The Murlocs are constantly respawning. There's like at least 2 of them on top of that corpse. Basically every time you go there. We'll collect it later. Why don't we just head through the woods real quick. And let's check out the lumber mill. Or the logging camp, I suppose it's called. One of the coolest settlements for sure. In Elwyn, I've always loved this place. Growing some flax, perhaps. It's like like a whole new town, essentially. James Clark, an attackable person. I mean, he looks like a Defias, just looking at him. I'm not sure, I mean, this guy doesn't drop a quest or anything. I'm sure you're just sent to kill him for a specific quest, but let's take him out. Let's see if he drops anything interesting. He is level 12, so we're going to have to be a little bit cognizant of that, but we've got plenty of tools to make sure that we get out of this safely. Right, yeah, his corpse is not lootable, so he must be for a specific quest. Got another cozy fire in his house here. More Thousand Needles pictures. And a book, James's journal. The pages of the journal seem to be filled with information about trades, buyers, and other miscellaneous business-related events. Alright, nothing cool in there. I was kind of hoping we'd get some sort of a backstory behind this guy. Maybe some messages back and forth. Or, it's just his true intentions, why he's here. Sarah Timberlane.
Need help?
Red Linen Goods. The Defias gang in Northshire wears burlap masks, but the Defias in Elwyn wear linen, which I can use to make fine linen goods. Bring me red linen bandanas and I'll use them to fashion something for you. Defias gang members have camps pocketed throughout Elwyn. So she does direct you to basically find whatever Defias camps you want to pick this stuff up. You can pick up a red linen shirt. Nothing in the rule says that we can't use this, so maybe we'll use it. Maybe it'll look interesting with some of our...
Light bless you.
Shirts are basically the only way that you can really transmog anything. I guess tabards as well. In vanilla. Got a journeyman tailor here. Nothing else too interesting though. Let's explore the rest of the camp. We've got some peasants cutting down some trees. And we have another quest here to pick up from Supervisor Raylan.
Greetings.
What?
Got a real problem on my hands. I have a deadline looming for an order of lumber, and I'm running out of time. The wolves and bears north of here have chased my workers away from the bundles of wood they've already chopped. I've already talked to Deputy Rayner about clearing the animals, but I need someone to go collect the wood for me. If you could collect 8 bundles of wood for me, I might just make my deadline.
Be careful.
No problem. A very simple request. Oh, we've got a general and trade supplies vendor. I did not know this was here. I thought that the vendor here was like a clothier or a, I don't know, maybe like a bow guy or something.
I supply
I wonder
only
if
the
this
finest goods.
person sells recipes. Yeah, check that out. He does. Specifically for tailoring. It's pretty cool. I suppose while we're here, we can vendor all this stuff.
Light bless you.
It's no longer going to serve us. Yeah, so there is a bowyer here. This is the vendor that I've always known to be here. And of course, we've got the horse vendors. Which we're not going to need if we somehow make it to level 40. We're going to get that free mount. So we don't have to save up for it, which is going to be really nice. Basically means we're not going to have to save anything. We can just we should be able to just purchase all of our abilities outright, I think, after a certain point, and focus on like bag upgrades and whatnot. Got Marshall Haggard's home. He's not going to become important until later in Duskwood. But he's got a book here. Lethargy of the Orcs. This one's a little bit longer, but let's read it. Months passed, and more orc prisoners were rounded up and placed within the internment camps. As the camps began to overflow, the Alliance was forced to construct new camps in the plains south of the Altaric Mountains. Yeah, if you're a Horde player, you know those all too well. Yeah, it's really cool that we're seeing it here. To properly maintain and supply the growing number of camps, King Tyrannus levied a new tax on the Alliance nations. This tax, along with increased political tensions over border disputes, created widespread unrest. It seemed that the fragile pact that had forged the human nations together in their darkest hour would break at any given moment. Amidst the political turmoil, many of the camp wardens began to notice an unsettling change come over their orc captives. The orcs' effort to escape from the camps or even fight amongst themselves had greatly decreased in frequency over time. The orcs were becoming increasingly aloof and lethargic. Though it was difficult to believe, the orcs, once held as the most aggressive race ever seen on Azeroth, had completely lost their will to fight. The strange lethargy confounded the Alliance leaders and continued to take its toll on the rapidly weakening orcs. Some speculated that some strange disease, contractable only by orcs, brought about the baffling lethargy. But Archmage Antonidas of Dalaran posed a different hypothesis. Researching what little he could find of orcish history, Antonidas learned that the orcs had been under the crippling influence of demonic power for generations. He speculated that the orcs had been corrupted by these powers even before their first invasion of Azeroth. Clearly, demons had spiked the orcs' blood, and in turn the brutes had been granted unnaturally heightened strength, endurance, and aggression. Antonidas theorized that the orcs' communal lethargy was not actually a disease, but a consequence of racial withdrawal from the volatile warlock magics that had made them fearsome, bloodlusted warriors. Though the symptoms were clear, Antonidas was unable to find a cure for the orcs' present condition. Then, too, many of his fellow mages, as well as a few notable Alliance leaders, argued that finding a cure for the orcs would be an imprudent venture. Left to ponder the orcs' mysterious condition, Antonidas' conclusion was that the orcs' cure would have to be a spiritual one. Interesting. The lethargy, however you say that word, of the orcs. Yeah, it definitely explains a lot for sure. Why it's in Marshall Haggard's homestead is, I suppose, a question for another day. Perhaps we'll learn more when we speak to him later on. I think we've checked out everything that we needed to. We can check the lumber mill itself, see if there's any NPCs over here that are worth talking to. I kind of doubt it, but let's see. Terry Palin. Oh no, look at that. There is a vendor over here. A lumberjack.
Good day to you.
You can get simple wood. That makes a lot of sense. This is just for flavor. You can basically get simple wood from any general goods vendor.
Have a good one.
That's really cool that you can do that, though. We, of course, are not going to need it. We are not cooking anything. Yeah, I think that's it. And I think I'm going to stop it right here for today. I think that was plenty of really awesome things that we got to explore. The Tower of Azora, the Eastvale logging camp here. A lot of cool stuff that I've never realized before. And we're starting to read some more books and whatnot, and getting into some of the bonus lore that somebody took the time to put into the game. And it's really cool to see. In the next one, we'll be right back here in Elwyn. We'll take on all the quests around the Eastvale logging camp. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. As always, I appreciate you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care.